But first, should we learn to love children's facial flaws or try to erase them? If your tot was born, I don't know, with big ears or a birthmark or some other kind of imperfection, would you feel the need to hire a surgeon to fix it? A 2-year-old Chloe, just there on the left, she's just had surgery on a birthmark. It's a benign tumour on her head. Her mum worried that Chloe was going to get bullied because she looked different. Maybe she got a bit older. And as we just heard, many of you think the same way. But it doesn't take a genius to work out that if every little imperfection is erased by surgery, one, everyone's going to look the same, and two, those who do choose to live with the face they were born with will look increasingly odd and unusual. Now, if we tell our kids it might be a good idea to change their looks, maybe we'll end up giving them even more of a complex about their looks. Is it possible that the child... I don't have kids, but is it possible the child may be perfectly happy with their imperfection, but it's mum and dad who have the problem and infect them with it? Various studies have shown that in the cases where kids are given surgery to improve their looks, they actually don't end up feeling any better about themselves. But perhaps I'll accept this, but perhaps because the damage to their self-image had already been done. Now, the facial disfigurement charity Changing Faces, they say that instead of fixing children with an unusual appearance, shall we say, the rest of us need to learn how to embrace their individuality. And psychologists agree. They say it is wrong to focus on what could cause a child to be bullied. The problem lies with the bullies. Bullies exploit differences, whether it be red hair, glasses, braces, whatever. If they want to pick on you, they will find something, plastic surgery or not. And then I suppose that the other thing we should consider is what if it's the child who wants their idiosyncrasies fixed? A third of girls will eventually demand plastic surgery from mum and dad, so why not give it to them now, Daniela?
I think it is a personal preference of parents. Personally, I'm not really... You know, I don't think it's good to put children under the knife for anything, especially something that's cosmetic. If it was something that needed doing, that was harmful or, you know, causing them a real problem, then of course.
But what I can remember, I mean, you probably can as well, but I can remember at school, there was a chap, Connor, with a birthmark on his face, and he was teased till the day he left.
Yeah, my cousin's niece, my cousin's daughter was born with a very big strawberry nose on her face, which they said would shrink by the age of 2. Same as this child didn't shrink. Eventually, now it's really just like a little red mark now, because it does shrink. She went to school and she got on perfectly fine at school, and she didn't really... She had a little bit of some children looking and everything, and once mum's explained, oh, it's OK, it's just part of her face, and, you know, everybody's different and blah, blah. Fine, but it is a lot about the parenting and other children's parents that are around as well, and how we treat them, and, you know, she's a beautiful child.
I used to nag my parents, but they started by telling me they used to lay me on my side to make my ears go flat, but it didn't work, and I became quite neurotic about them for a while. So what if the child says, Mum, you know, I hate my ears, can I have them fixed, please? Which is actually the most popular cosmetic surgery operation for children, is ear pinning.
I just think it's part of who we are with that sort of thing. And
so you'd have to find a way of boosting their self-confidence in other ways.
Yeah, I think so. If it's
I think it depends on the affliction too.
It does.
I mean, if you have some terrible affliction, like we were told today, the 9-year-old boy in 2008, Jay Payne of Peterhead, Scotland, he was so intensely bullied at school because he had a birthmark, and he begged his parents to remove it, and they removed it. Because I think that it's better to remove...
Well, I'm still sitting there thinking, what's the head teacher doing? Getting the bullying, you know...
Well, I know, I agree.
Issues, but I think that's right.
But the mental stress that poor boy must have gone on in order to beg his parents to remove it. And I do think, you know, we see children coming, a lot of children coming from abroad to our country to have cosmetic surgery whose faces have been blown away, you know, and things like that. I think that's important.
But they weren't necessarily born. They've had acid thrown in their face, or they've been shot at, or whatever. But if it's the way you were born...
I think it's to the extent, do you think, of what it is, what the affliction is?
Because, you know, they were talking about that genetically, I think they'd found that they could eradicate certain forms of deafness. And the deaf community was outraged because it's as if saying, you know, that you are not good enough, that everybody should be perfect. And cosmetic surgery opens the door a little wider and actually does afford people the opportunity to get rid of their individuality.
I think it's an age thing as well. If you're a child, you have a different perspective on changing yourself that's quite shallow, I guess, and not developed.
Yeah,
And then as
yeah.
an adult, you know, you can get to a point where you really accept or embrace that. And so I think if it's a child making that decision, it's probably not informed enough.
But what if you're the parent and you think, God, my child's got big sticking out ears.
I think
They're
there's ways
gonna
to
get
embrace
teased.
those things. Like there's an Australian singer in the Greats, and she has this port wine stained birthmark over all of her body. She said that as a child, she got encouraged to think of that as her superpower because it let her
fantastic.
discriminate between
That's great.
Did she
people
get
that didn't
bullied, though?
accept her.
Did she get
No, because she had a lot of self-confidence in going, well, if you're going to judge me for my birthmark, then you're probably not the type of person that I want in my life.
So are you saying that parents who choose surgery for their kids are choosing the quick fix, the easy route, rather the shallow solution, rather than actually boosting the confidence of their child so they can deal with the unpleasantness?
I think if it's something that's really affecting that child's quality of life, and like this case, if the boy is that severely bullied that, you know, there is no other way and he's really, really going to be damaged from this, then I think that it's an option to consider. But I think if it's a 2-year-old and they're going, he might get bullied, she might get bullied, I think that's a bit premature to be making that kind of
Also,
call.
it didn't look that much of a problem, did it, that
the
birthmark in the hair?
No.
I mean, in her hair could
covered
have...
up by a
Exactly.
hair or...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I suppose, I don't know, because I'm thinking, well, if she didn't like it as she got older, then she can make that
then you do
decision as
something
an
about it as a
adult.
parent.
I mean, I hated my ears when I was supposed to be between the age of 5 and 11. Now I don't care at all.
Yeah,
But I
I'd probably
quite
have a
like
different
them.
face if I got that choice as a 10-year-old. You know?
Yeah, me too, truth be told.
They're still
Yeah.
not very
Change
nice for
anything
us to
about
look at,
yourself.
though, your ears.
Odd sizes, odd shapes, but I like them.
No, I've never liked your ears.
You know what they say? Big ears, bigger... Do they say that? Big earmuffs, thank you, Screech. Oh, fresh.